Everybody. I think all of you are doing good. This lecture is in continuation to the earlier lecture, and today we would be discussing how to calculate various floats into the network diagram. Basically, what the float is nothing else but is a flexibility or a slack of any activity. There are four types of float that has been discussed. One is total float, that is the amount of the time by which an activity can be delayed without delaying the entire project completion. Second is free float. It is a part of the total float only, which can be used without affecting the float of the succeeding activity. Independent float is the float time where neither the succeeding activity nor the preceding activities get impacted. Last one is interfering float. Utilization of the float of any activity and is likely to affect the float time of other activity in the network. In this lecture, this interfering float we will not be discussing. We would be first taking care of the above three floats, right? So starting, same example I would be taking, the diagram you are comfortable with. Total float. Let's take the example of activity 2 to 5. See, the total time available is 12 days. How? This activity earliest can be started at the second day and can be winded up at the 14th day. So 14 minus 2, 12. Now we can start the activity on second day, but somehow and the duration of activity is 3, d is 3. So the total float is 12 less this, because this duration, this time that is required for the completion of time has to be taken out of the float. So 12 less 3 is equal to 9. Okay. These are the formulas that are given in the books. This is the formula, the highlighted one that I have been referred, and the diagram that we have learned with that, this formulas is preferable. Other two formulas, they are not preferable with this diagram. If you remember the earlier lecture, in the last slide I share a different type of diagram. These below two formulas are more preferred when we are using such type of diagrams. The second is free float. Already stated that it is that float which does not affect the succeeding activity, right? Again, taking the same activity 2 to 5. Total float we have already found it out, that is 9 days. Suppose the activities get delayed, say by 7 days. So now instead of starting it on the second day, it would be starting on the 2 plus the delay time, and the delay time we are assuming 7 days. So it would be starting on the 9th day. Even if I would be starting it on the 9th day, the duration of the activity is 3 days. The activity still gets completed on the 12th day, and the next activity has to be started as early as by 13th. So you see, even if it gets delayed by the 7 days, this factor is not getting crossed. So this is the example of a free float. The calculation formula to calculate, that is total float less head slack. Head is this one, where the arrow is pointing, that is the head. This is the tail. So this is the head. So total float we already know, that is 9. Head slack is 14 less 13. It's the difference basically. So now the free float is 8. So how much time did we delay? We delayed 7 days. So that's why the succeeding activity didn't impacted. The final float that we will be discussing is independent float. Independent float, there is only a very thin difference, that is independent float is that float in which neither the tail event nor the head gets impacted. Means this as well as this doesn't get impacted. The formula for the free float is for the independent float is free float less tail slack, because head slack we have already taken care of in the free float. So now we are removing the tail slack also. Again, same example, 2 to 5. 8 is the free float, 11 less 2 is the difference. So it comes to be minus 1. Remember, we don't consider minus negative digit. We always tend to consider it as equal to 0. This means there is no independent float available in this type of scenario. Generally, this is what it means. This is the example. I have just sorted it out based on the diagram that has been given, and I have filled the values for your reference. Rest of the figures you can just take it as a small exercise and can get familiar with the questions. In the next lecture, I would be discussing the interfering float and how it has to be taken care of. Thank you.